Sports presents And They Walked Away, Part 2. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Evans, and again, I'll be your host as we delve into the extensive archives of Diamond P Sports. We'll have a look at incidents from World of Outlaws Sprint Car Racing, CMC Motocross and AMA Supercross, ASA Stock Cars, Swamp Buggies, NHRA Championship Drag Racing, and a whole lot more. Let's pick up the action at the 1990 NHRA Winston Finals in Pomona, California. Now watch the car in the far lane. It's Gary Densham, the school teacher from Bellflower, California. Gary came to the last race of the NHRA season with a beautiful new funny car and promptly turned it into ashes. After the initial explosion, the fire that resulted burned the parachutes away. Gary was not able to trigger the fire bottles, which allowed the fire to grow. Fortunately, he was able to swing the car sideways, rubbing off speed, and with the help of the NHRA Safety Safari, get out quickly. Gary Densham was able to walk away from that inferno with only minor injuries because of the mandated fire wardrobe to protect against such emergencies. The once beautiful Thunderbird body funny car, however, was not so lucky and showed the scars of an intense blaze. Let's see if we can tell what went wrong. It looks like the rear tires might have been just about to break traction, and Gary tried to feather the gas pedal to keep that from happening. Doing this caused the cylinder to fill up with liquid, which can't be compressed, resulting in the engine kicking the rods out and igniting a huge fireball. In his struggle to get the car stopped, Gary was unable to trigger the fire bottles, allowing the fiberglass body to become fully engulfed. Only skillful driving kept the car from rolling or getting into the wall. Gary Denson was able to walk away. It's the biggest drag race of the year, the U.S. Nationals at Indianapolis Raceway Park. In funny car qualifying for the 1990 event, Whit Bazemore was debuting his brand new Permatex funny car. And once again, we found out how hard it is to get a car stopped with quarts of blazing oil beating flames and getting under tires. Diamond P cameraman Jeff Kelty caught this dramatic footage as Bazemore tried frantically to get the car stopped. Like Gary Denson earlier, the body on Whit Bazemore's car was reduced to fiberglass ashes. I talked to Whit about the incident.
Well, the car was shaking pretty bad, and got to seemed about half track, and it must have kicked a rod out or something, and had a small fire, and it grew. So it's just one of those things that it happens sometimes, and it's the first one for me. It's a handful, but I'm fine. Got to worry about the car now.
It's hard enough to drive a nitro funny car when everything goes right, but nearly impossible when things go wrong. Well, in 1990, things went very wrong in Dallas, Texas. It was the Texas Motorplex and the NHRA Chief Nationals. The Diamond P cameras were there in round one when Mark Oswald, driving the Candies and Hughes funny car in the far lane, suffered one of the most horrendous explosions in funny car history. After the body had disintegrated and sheer momentum had bounced the car from one guardrail to the other, Mark Oswald was able to stop the car without rolling it, saving further damage to the chassis and injury to himself. Dazed and weak, Mark Oswald walked away. In this first replay, you can see that there's a small puff of smoke from the right side of the engine before the actual explosion. Milliseconds later, a horrendous explosion, nuclear stuff, blows the engine and fiberglass body away. In this second angle from behind, you can easily see how total the destruction of the fiberglass body was. I looked at the damage right after the incident.
As they continue to clean up the Mark Oswald incident, we can show you a classic example of what they mean by an engine hydraulicking. So much fuel in a cylinder, the piston cannot compress it, and it blew the cylinder head completely off of the engine and took a lot of the block with it. That's when the supercharger exploded, and that's where all of the fire came from. But this engine is completely destroyed, much like you set up a nuclear device in it. That's hydraulicking. Mark, considering how little control you had with a blown tire, you did a heck of a job.
I just tried to stay as straight as I could, Steve. It just had oil and everything all over the front of the visor, and I really couldn't understand why I hit the guardrail. I thought I held the car pretty straight, but they said it pretty much lifted the car right off the ground.
What were you doing when you put your hand, your glove, way up in the air?
I was trying to see if the body was still on. I was feeling for the roof hat to see if I was going to have to get out or not. I couldn't tell if the body was still on.
Well, banged up a little bit, but basically you're okay?
Yeah, we'll be back. I'm fine.
Some of the most action-packed racing that we cover here at Diamond P Sports involves the winged World of Outlaws sprint cars. Competing on mostly half-mile dirt tracks, these cars are full-bore excitement. Memphis, Tennessee is the home of Memphis Motorsports Park, one of the hottest half-mile dirt tracks in the country, visited each year by the men of the World of Outlaws Tour.
Now, one of the worst things that can happen in open-wheel racing is that the cars make contact with each other. The results are unpredictable and often spectacular. At the 1989 event, it was the B feature on Friday night. Just after the start, when 21 Steve Beitler and 6 and Tim Monson came together on the back straight. It was Beitler who got the worst of it, but that big wing on top of the car helped cushion the impact. The seriousness of the incident was evident when the race was red flagged, bringing all cars to an immediate stop. Steve Beitler was able to walk away, shaken up, of course, but was not seriously injured. I talked to him right after the incident.
Steve, you okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah. Nasty one, though.
Well, I told my dad I'd get on TV one way or the other. I guess this is it. It ain't the way I wanted it, though.
You know, I hadn't planned on meeting you quite like this. Do you know what happened? It happened so quickly.
Yeah, somebody in front of me, I think it was Ronnie Daniels, bicycled real hard. When he come down, there just was nowhere to go. We were running real hard in the middle groove, and I ran up over his tire, and the speed on this track, it's not very forgiving. When you get up on two wheels and it comes down, man, it takes off.
Well, you got to be proud of the race car and the men that build it.
Yeah, Oscar, they're built in Indiana. They do a real good job. I have a lot of faith in their work.
Right. Maybe you should go to the ambulance, huh?
I'm okay.
Okay, thanks.
Right, Joe.